Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be covering melodies. I have a few different ways that I'm going to show you how you could make melodies out of a chord progression that you already have. So I'll go over the music theory behind this and why it's so easy to do, and just one way that you could really create melodies if you already have a chord progression but you don't really know the top line melody that you want to have on it. With that said, let's go. So we have a chord progression here built out. I'll go ahead and explain it, but we have just 3 different 7th chords with the root notes right here, down 1 octave. And let me just explain this before we get into it so you can kind of follow along with this. But let's just say that you already have your chord progression built out. So if I go over here and build this out again, we have B, skip 1 note here, place, skip 1 here, place, skip 1 here, place. You see 2 spacings, 3, 2, B minor 7th. And then I just went over here and I have another minor chord. So I could just take this here and we have the F sharp minor 7th right here. And then over here we have a major chord, which is actually a G major. So let's build this chord out. Skip here, place, skip here, and place, skip here, and place. So you see we have 2 minors and a major. That's really all it is. Then I took the root notes and brought them down an octave. So that's just the chord progression. I always like to explain everything so you can kind of follow along. This is going to work really well if you're working with 7th chords, but you can also do it with triads. So let's just hear this first. So the first thing that you have to know about melodies is it's really just 2 simple things to kind of keep it easy. We got pitch and we got rhythm. We're going to have different types of notes that we're going to choose for the melody, and then we're going to have a certain type of rhythm that we want to go for. Let's take something as simple as the 5th of a chord or the 3rd of a chord, and then bringing it up an octave and building out a melody with it. So what I mean by that is if we look at this chord, we have the root, 3rd, 5th, and 7th. That's why this is a 7th chord, and same goes for all these that I built out. So let's take the 5th of every chord and bring it up an octave. So root, 3rd, and 5th. So we'll select this, shift click, control up, then root, 3rd, 5th. So we'll select this and go up. Same over here, root, 3rd, 5th, boom, go over here. So let's create a little bit of rhythm with this. It's super simple. We're going to get more advanced with it, but we got to start off simple before we go like further into this. So I want to take this and kind of create a little bit of rhythm off of these chords. So I'm going to take these notes right here and just go about halfway between each bar, and let's hear what this sounds like. So now we have a nice little melody, right? It's nothing crazy. Hit shift and drag these over, and let's go another half bar in between. So now we have the notes duplicated and they're another half bar. I'm going to keep it selected like this just so you can see when they're playing, but you can see we're starting to create a little bit more melody. Let's see. We're adding a little bit more rhythm by duplicating the notes. So let's take these all right here and let's do Alt L, and then we'll keep it like this. Let's select all these notes right here. Let's shift, click, and let's go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see we're still landing in the scale. So now let's listen to this. And I'm kind of hearing it go down right here. So this is where we're just going to place in extra notes just to see what we can get this to sound like. And we can also move notes around. So let's play this back. So I don't want this note. I just want it to be these 3 right here. And I don't really like this G right here, so I'm going to bring it down to an F sharp. Then delete that note. And we have a little bit of a melody going. Now what I want to do is take the 3rd and the 5th of each chord. So let's go here, select the 3rd and the 5th, 3rd and the 5th, and then shift click up 1 like that. And let's listen to what this sounds like. We could take this A and go up 1 octave as well. So control up arrow. And then what we're going to do, these are all our notes right here, right? I'm going to bring it up 1 more octave just so you can see it separated. What I'm going to do here is now start to bring these in and create a little bit of rhythm. So maybe we could take this F sharp, bring it in here. Let's move the A in. Let's move this note in as well. And let's bring these down 1 octave just so it actually makes sense. All right, so let's do it again. Let's take the third and the fifth of every chord, and we're gonna try something a little bit different. Let's go up one octave here. And what we're gonna do, I'm gonna go up one more octave just so you can kind of follow along and it doesn't get like messed up as far as like seeing what I'm doing. And I wanna try a different rhythm for this. So I'm gonna take the top note here, go in something like that, and then bring this one in here. So we have it playing half bar. This one starts on the 2. So we'll do the same thing. Let's bring this in half. Let's go here, bring this in half. Go over here, and then what we're gonna do is Alt L so you can easily see this. And then somewhere over here, I'm hearing a little bit of like a scale run that's descending. So like ba 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 ba. So let's go ahead and figure out what that's gonna be. That's kind of what I was hearing. So you could just mess around with the notes till you find it. But you see that we have the tension notes right here and then a nice little release of these notes instead of it being another tension note here. So that's going to help out. So let's go ahead and place that there. It's still pretty basic, but we're kind of getting the idea of how we can create melodies. So let's go ahead and take this a little bit of a step further, and we're gonna add in some passing notes to this. So all passing notes is just notes that are in between either chords or melodies. So I wanna add in some grace notes and some passing notes. For the grace notes, it's gonna be these ones that you hear a lot. So I'm going to look for parts in the melodies and the chords where there's like breaks and spaces and where I can add in some passing notes. So somewhere in here looks like it'd be a good place. So right here we can place a note and we can pay attention to what notes we have here. We have C sharp and E. So maybe we could take this E right here and let's go up one octave. So this E is going to work well with the C sharp because they are both in this chord right here. So let's go ahead and listen to that. See what I'm saying? We're creating a little bit of a melody already. Now what we could do is create a little bit more rhythm with this. So maybe we don't want this to start right away. We can move this over here and then we can have this note be dragged out here. Okay, now let's figure out a passing note that we want from this note to go into this chord and this melody here. So I'm gonna look at the third and the fifth again. We have A, B is right here. That's also in the chord. And what I'm going to do for this is just let this play out and see how these two interact with going into this next chord and this melody here. Okay, that sounds good. Let's drag this out. Before we continue, remember when I said that my next kit was going to be a MIDI kit that was multi-genre and 100% royalty free? I was being serious, and guess what? It's out now. The MIDI suite is now available. It contains 100 royalty-free advanced MIDI chord progressions. I broke it up into 5 different parts: dark trap, pain, R&B, West Coast, and emotional sad chord progressions. This kit contains some of my best work. None of these are throwaways. Drag and drop these MIDIs into your favorite VSTs or one-shots and get to work. Best thing is, these MIDIs are 100% royalty free. Use them in your beats and never have to clear it. After the video, hit the link in the description and pick up the MIDI suite today. Okay, now over here, let's add in one of those grace notes. So we have D right here. We have a note right below it, which is C sharp. So I'm going to show you how you can create like a nice little grace note. These are always nice when you play them on the MIDI, but we could do it inside the piano roll. Let's click this, place one here, shorten this right here, and let's bring this over just a tiny bit. And then you got to mess with these velocities kind of depending on how you play them. So I'm hitting that second note a little bit harder. So maybe we can do that. Sounds cool. It's a little bit robotic. You definitely got to mess with it. I'd recommend like re-recording these if you can. But that's a nice little like grace note we can add in. Let's add in a little bit more rhythm with the chords to kind of play off the melody we're already creating. So we have these chords here. Let's take in maybe the fifth right here. Bring it in like this because we have those F sharps right there. Let's see what this sounds like. We can actually leave this here. Let's do something over here. Maybe we could take this A and then we can add in maybe another C. Let's take this. Let's have these two C's play together. I'm kind of hearing like a bum, bum, bum. Let's see. Maybe it's this B right here. Yep, we have that B and this B playing, just like we have this C and this C playing. So that always sounds nice. Since we have this rhythm kind of going here, we need to like include it over here as well. It'll just sound good. So let's bring this one in, which is going to be the fifth of this chord. And then when you kind of get this going, it kind of snowballs into more ideas. So that's kind of why it's good if you're like having difficulties building melodies or you don't really know where to start. You can always try little tricks that you could do with your chords and then get ideas from that and then just build off that. So let me kind of show you how that would be. So we already have this down, right? As far as like getting ideas to build off of, this is some things that I would like to do and that I do honestly all the time. So I'm gonna go ahead and change this key. I'm gonna just go up 1, 2, 3. Let's go to D minor. So I'm gonna change this here and I'm just gonna listen and add in notes that I hear or think would sound good. This part of the tutorial is more just to kind of show you what you could do when you're like brainstorming or freestyling. So I'll kind of show you my method of doing it and maybe you can apply it in your own way. Bum, 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 something like that. Maybe like that. You get better over time, you know, but I honestly got really lucky with that. I'm not going to lie. Let's see what that sounds like. Maybe F sharp. Throw a little bit of reverb on this too. That always helps, gives me like a little bit of inspiration. I don't know why, it just always does. Okay, what I want to do is Control A and then Control B. And since this melody is going down, for the second part of this over here, I want to have some notes that are higher up here. I'm going to take the 3rd, 5th, and 7th, Control up arrow twice, and let's mess with these notes. One of these is probably going to be the one I'm looking for. Already right there. Let's repeat that. I'm kind of hearing that repeat. Do, 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 do. Okay, now I'm hearing like a note. Dun, 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 dun. So maybe the A. It's usually the bottom note. Okay, now I'm kind of getting an idea. Dun, 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 dun. Like a little bit sadder for this note, but over here. Let's listen. Probably delete this. There we go, G sharp. Okay, and now you see what I'm saying. We're already getting more ideas because now that I'm hearing these play off this melody that we had, I'm kind of hearing something else happening over here and we're creating a whole bunch of ideas. Let's see what we could do. You can also do repeating notes. So we left off on this B right here, right? We can go ahead over here and place in another B and have it be like, ba-ba, dun, 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 something like that. Let's try it. Delete these. Let's repeat that B. Let's repeat it again. We're just having the metronome on so we can find a rhythm for this. So again, we're using our last note and building another little melody over here, having it repeat. Repetition is going to be good for the melody because it makes you remember it. And then we just need to find a rhythm for it. Something as simple as that, one note up in the scale. You can try down 2. Just a little bit sadder. Or one up. We can also use this as a chord right here. So you can kind of see that we have the start of a major chord. Then you get something like that. You could bring this in right here and have it be a nice little strum. Add in the triad if you want, or the seventh, but let's just try the triad. I don't know, maybe it'll sound cool. I kind of like how it sounds with the root and the third though. And this would just be A major chord, A major triad, but we're just gonna do the root and the third. And you can do that with any of the melody that you have if you want. Here's another A. Let's try it again. Skip a note, place, skip a note, place. Let's do the root and the fifth. Let's see what this sounds like. See what I'm saying? It just makes it sound so much better when you add those notes in. Let's try it. I don't want to do it too much, but let's try it in a few more places. Right here, skip a note, place, skip a note, place. Maybe we can utilize it like this. It needs it right here. Skip a note, place, skip a note, place. We can either try the third or the fifth. Maybe the fifth will work though. Okay, hold on. And again, we have an A here. So we can repeat that E actually, because we have E and A and E right here. So when you're working with MIDI, you can really look at it and see what you could do. Let's create another of the same chords here, but this has the A on top. Let's see what that sounds like. That would be an inversion of the A, but we won't even break that down. Let's just see what this sounds like. See what I'm saying? And now, because these two are leading up, I'm hearing even higher notes over here. So let's try to see if we can add something in. Maybe an A or a G sharp I'm hearing. Kind of like that. And now let's play off this. And then we have a note right here, so let's try it out. That might sound good. It's gonna be a nice tension note. Right here to G sharp. And you see the G sharp right here. I didn't even realize we had one. Lines up with that. It works perfect, bro. Just try things out and experiment. This is fire. And this all started with some simple chords that we built a melody out of those. So I really like how this came out actually. Let's go ahead and hear it again. Maybe we could pitch it one more time. Let's try. Oh, let's speed that up a little bit. This is actually fire. So I really like how this came out. I hope this melody tutorial helped you out. It's just a way that you could start if you don't really know how to build melodies, as mentioned, by starting with the chords you have. But regardless, no matter what level you're at, that little method can for sure help you out when you're starting an idea for a melody, because it just gives you something to go off of, especially when you can't think of anything. So I hope this video helped you. As always, appreciate you guys watching. If you did like this video, leave a like, drop a comment down below if I should do more music theory tutorials. As always, appreciate you. Till the next video, peace.